Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey street fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
After the long haul of 2,800 virtual miles, our group of below the double yellow drivers make way from sunny California to Pennsylvania this week to tackle the tricky triangle known as Pocono. I know you're normally used to hearing Alec Martinez's voice doing these intros, but you've got me doing it tonight. My name is Logan Threlkeld, and alongside me, as always, we still have Alec Martinez for the BTDY iRacing Series, presented by KHIO. We have our second of 4 BTDY No Bull Challenge races here tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, it is BTDY night in America for the KHIO 175. Now, Alec, I know Pocono is one of your favorite tracks on the service. Tell us a little about what you know and what these drivers are going to have to overcome here to take away a victory tonight.
Well, as this being one of my favorite tracks, this track is so tight, it's technical, and you have to really attack every corner and approach every corner differently. This track is unique, 3 different corners, unlike any racetrack we ever go to in the on the NASCAR schedule, and each one of these corners is different. Turn number 1 representing Milwaukee, turn number 2 representing what is Indianapolis, and turn 3, which is representing Trenton. And honestly, the way these turns are, actually I got them mixed up. Turn 1 is Trenton, turn 3 is Milwaukee, but the way that you get to approach these corners and approach these tracks are so much different from anything. It's 3 different turns, and only really the line is so tight, and track position is going to be so key here tonight. And I will say, I think we're in for a very interesting show, but all momentum based as we do go down this long straightaway, one of the longest straightaways, if not the longest straightaway we go to on our schedule this year. And tonight we have 70 laps, pit road speed at 55, 3 tire sets available, and 3 green white checkers. And the big key, I think, what tonight might be is 80% fuel load. A lot of these races here in this series have come down to fuel mileages. Most of them won by Bailey Turner. He's not racing tonight. So it'll be very interesting to see if fuel mileage becomes a thing, as it always does happen to become a thing here at Pocono. But I think that no matter what, we're in for a good show and at one of the most unique racetracks you'll ever come to.
Yeah, we most certainly are. Pocono is just in a world of its own, but let's take a quick look at these points here. We come into this race, Jeff Wright having won 2. Now, we are 3 races deep, so we do have 2 drop weeks that are applied to the points currently. Later on in this series, this will change over time. But for now, Jeff Wright in the lead by 2 points over Justin Carey, who also has that win there at Daytona to start out the year. Jeff Wright taking home Atlanta first 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, rather. And then, of course, Sonoma last week. But,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alec.
Sorry to cut you off. Yeah, Jeff's is, we're talking about him being the reigning champion, and he's just been so good. And tonight is the big key. 3 in a row. I don't think we've seen really anybody go 3 in a row in quite some time. And Jeff has an opportunity to do something special. I forgot to tell you, I did lie there a little bit. Bailey Turner is racing tonight. So that's going to be something to look out for, and maybe a couple of these guys ending his streak as well.
Very well could. Very well could. A lot of opportunity out here for that tonight. But let's get down here to the grid. I know we've got some race cars making their way off. So we'll take a quick look here and see what we've got going on. Alec, what do you say? You want to lead us off here?
Well, I think that's a good idea. His pace car is in turn 1. It's a long pace lap, but Bailey Turner making his season debut tonight. And with a 54.871, is on the pole with the Italian stallion AJ Stravato, 54.880 in second. Row number 2, how about Dennis Faircloth qualifying P3 in its first highest qualifying Toyota Supra, with Jeff Wright in 4th. 5th is Keith Mayato and Chris Samard, a pair of teammates here in 6th. 7th is Noah Mahosky with Kevin Frey in the 82 rolling off in 8th. And 9th is another pair of E-Speed teammates, Brody Hayes and James Loveland, rolling out in the top 10.
Coming up back here behind the top 10, we've got Cody Adkins in the 55, taking 11th starting position next to Ray Massey in the 23. Gary Sexton in the 1 will take the 13th spot next to Jace Coley in 14th. 15th belongs to Dallas Sullivan in the 46, next to Alan Dice in the 5. 17th will be Jeremiah Vincent in that 3 machine, next to Ronnie Osmer in 18th. Last but not least in the top 20, first week winner Justin Carey in that 21, next to rookie Jake Mackey in the 99.
Another rookie in 21st, Aaron Lee, with Max Cost, the class winner, in 22nd. 23rd is Michael Jones and Kyle Payne, and then Zach Smith and Todd Giles round out 25th and 26th of our 26-car field. The pace car is already pulled off, the green flag is out, and we're underway for the Pocono Mountains here for race number 4.
Apologize for that long, that pace lap turned out to be a whole lot shorter than what we were expecting there, Alec. I guess 75 mile an hour around this track does not equate to just enough time.
Not too bad, as side by side for the lead and down the long pond straightaway for the first time here tonight. The Italian stallion to the outside, AJ Stravato, with help from teammate Jeff Wright pushing him, but pole sitter Bailey Turner on the inside here into the tunnel turn, one of the corners you really don't want to go side by side in here. But Turner continues to stay on the inside of Stravato, while Stravato will use the momentum to clear. And now Jeff Wright gets to the right rear of the 24 of Turner, followed by Faircloth and Mayato. But Turner sends it down to the inside of that Celsius Chevrolet Camaro. And this time we'll probably have to poke right back up in line behind AJ Stravato here as Wright gets a run, but it won't be enough as Wright shoots to the inside. Stravato leads lap 1, followed by Turner, Wright, Faircloth, Mayato, Samard, Mahovsky, Hayes, Loveland, and Frey, the top 10.
Not too bad of a first lap showing for these drivers out here. We'll see a lot of movement surely Pocono is one of those places. There's a lot of passing zones available. You have 3 different types of cornering entries. So there's going to be some drivers that are better in some corners than others. Like you mentioned, just about all 3 of them represent a different track here on one surface.
They sure do, and be very interesting to see how these guys continue to attack this racetrack. And right now, Turner going down to the inside once again here into turn 1, and he is there. And now we'll see this. The inside lane sometimes it's hard to get by when you got somebody taking all the side force off of your right side door, and really see that affect sometimes. What happens is Mahalski making some contact with Hayes a little bit further back at Samard, and just kind of poked to the outside of the 77. This is the battle for 6th on the racetrack, and Mahalski being aggressive early goes to the outside, gets a little bit loose over that bump, and something to monitor as we go into this race as well, as there is a bump in the middle to top row of turn 1. And if you go up there and you hit that bump, it can throw you sideways here. And look at this bum drafting down the Long Pond straightaway, basically, as Hayes pushing Samard into turn 2.
On board right now with Brody Hayes, sitting in 8th, right behind the 77 of the Samard. Behind Noah Mahalski up there just ahead. But you can see just how flat turn number 3 is here. You really have to be easy on that exit so you don't bring that rear end of the car around and ruin any little bit of run that you could have possibly had.
That's for sure, and I'm noticing even most of this field single file down the front stretch, but an interesting thing to notice too, if we're talking about fuel saving as well, is if you're in this draft, you're in this kind of single file, especially fielding single file, you kind of just save some fuel. It looks like Justin Carey might have caught the wall there off of turn 1, but you can maybe go not half throttle, you can maybe go 70% throttle, save some fuel here. And that could be a big key later in this race for saving fuel, and really can maybe win you this race if you can make it to the end. And it will depend if we get any cautions and how cautions will fall, but don't count it out here. Is this behind Justin Carey battle for 20th on the racetrack? That's Max Cost and Ricky Jake Mackey on the inside. Mackey had a good showing at Sonoma last week, just caught up on a restart wreck. Cost and Carey had a good battle in that race as well, and Mackey will lose, or will, I guess, hang on to that 21st spot as Cost hangs off the 20th, and Mackey goes still in 21st as Faircloth getting by Jeff Wright, and solid speed out of the 80 car.
Yeah, very good speed out of the 80 of Dennis Faircloth. He made a very good move there on the 48 of Jeff Wright into turn number 1. Carried all that momentum down low, left right on the outside line, which is not the most favorable in turn number 1. And of course, turn number 2, you want to get as close to that yellow line as possible. Try just to barely get by on that exit wall.
And these walls will come up on you quick as Faircloth getting clean air to the nose and using a higher line than you'll see most use at Pocono, but it does tend to work as NASCAR, or as Iverson has kind of put in the resin, if you so will, that NASCAR sprayed on this track. And so far, maybe noticing that it's working a little bit, and sometimes it's just good to get clean air to the nose, and sometimes clean air really helps on, what could be very helpful. And right here, you're getting that dirty air, and it just, you'll feel the nose push up, and sometimes you'll get up into the outside wall just from the dirty air, and now you'll see guys have to back off and kind of get clean air to the nose, and I think we'll see as this run goes on, as the tires start to fall off, we'll see guys searching around for some clean air.
Clean air is going to be the name of the game here tonight. That is 100% certain. It's going to be a matter of who can get the most of it.
Sure will, as it looks like Turner still kind of pressuring Stravato for the lead. Not a lot of pressure so far. I think these guys may be trying to save some fuel, and Faircloth sitting about 4/10 behind Stravato, 3/10 behind Turner in 3rd, and Jeff Wright not too far off of him, and then Noah Mahalski, who's worked himself up into 5th, and solid speed of the 03 out of the 03 so far, as he has been making some moves early. As there's another car poking out of line, that is under Alan Dice, the 3 of Jeremiah Vincent for 17th, and I believe he is still going to be under him off of 2. And this is where it gets really tight, and you got to be careful of running side by side. And that outside lane, if you can just stay on the right rear of somebody, it helps so much because everybody's already on the wall with the draft. Vincent sending into turn number 2, and Dice on that outside lane are really hard to carry or keep the momentum and speed up there, and it costs Dice that position, and it's like Kerry might have missed the corner, and it's going to cost Kerry a position to cost. Tell you what, Logan, this is, I think we're seeing some guys save fuel. We're seeing some guys kind of just go at their own pace right now.
You know, some of these drivers are probably expecting to be able to make this a 2-stop race. Some of them may be stretching it out for 1. And we'll just have to tell. Well, later when we get through this race here, there's just so many different variables, and obviously cautions being one of them, as we're going to see a lot of these cars start to get loose off the exit about 15 to 20 laps deep into these runs. One thing that we didn't get to really touch base on is the current weather on the track. 107 degrees on the surface, so that's going to have a massive effect in these long run capabilities of these cars.
And it's funny to think is it looks like Mahalski got by Wright, and then now Wright going back by Mahalski in the 3. But I will say one thing is that, you know, oh, look at this. Mahalski the crossover here on Jeff Wright to the inside of the 48. But, you know, that's not as hot as we normally see the track. This is a summer race, and the track will get up anywhere from 120, 130 degrees when it's really hot in the summer. But being in the fall months, it's the later time zone, or the later the time gets, you know, we're not going to see as much heat in the track, and maybe not as much tire fall off, but still going to require saving the right rear or right front, I should say, and kind of just, you know, keeping your wits about you, and at this point, I think saving some fuel too.
Yeah, fuel saving is going to be a massive factor. You know, like you said, it's not the hottest race that we'll see, certainly not the coolest race that we'll see, but we've got action back here with the 36 and the 37 teammates, Brody Hayes and Keith Mayato. Hayes able to get to the underside of Mayato, make that pass into turn 3. Now coming down the back, or the front stretch rather. He's going to claim that 6th spot this time around. He's going to try to catch up to the 48 of Jeff Wright. Might see him make the same move that we've seen made. He does not go for the inside like Faircloth did laps ago.
No, he didn't, and he's going to stay behind Wright, and Mayato lost that 7th or 6th position, and Wright, I think, is on a fuel save mode. You haven't really seen him push the car too much, and I think right now he's turning 56.3s compared to everybody else. So I think this could be everybody else in the 56.0. So a couple tenths of fuel maybe saving, or hardcore tire saving, and we're starting to see Wright push the car a little bit harder away from Hayes. And probably the shout out to the car tonight, that yellow car with the eyes on the hood, and that's Kevin Frey having a really solid run here tonight, running at night.
Back here, and Kevin Frey in that 82 machine. He's looking. There is a pun there, I promise.
And he is really put together a solid run as one of the drivers, a rookie, I guess you could consider. He made a couple starts, I think, last year, but so far we've seen him full time, and right now making some good moves. Man, I'll tell you what, Faircloth is really, really searching around for some grip on this racetrack. Went way high on the outside here, and almost somehow made that work. Actually was gaining a little bit down Long Pond straightaway, but Faircloth kind of moving around a little bit and just, you know, doing his thing. And, you know, we always see Faircloth not afraid to take it high, wide, and handsome as he almost clips the wall there. But Faircloth having a good run so far, started up there, and he's kind of staying up there. Mahalski's really been on the charge, up to 4th, just barely inside the top 10 starting spot. And Wright so far losing spots, but I can't say that's going to be an issue with him later in this race. I could see that we're going to be talking about Jeff Wright later in this race.
Absolutely, we will. I mean, there's no way that he's not going to come into this giving maximum effort with this opportunity to take 3 in a row after Atlanta, Sonoma, and potentially Pocono here. It is odd to see him, you know, kind of off pace, but it's got to be all strategy related for sure.
You would think, and we'll see as this race goes on. Brody Hayes has kind of just stayed behind Jeff, and Mayato stayed a little bit behind Hayes, and then you got a little bit of a gap between Samar and Frey, who gets a little bit wide off of 2. Loveland, I don't know if Frey had an issue, but Loveland now going to the outside of Frey, and Wright going to the inside of Mahalski and getting by, and Wright maybe starting to turn on the jets here as we go later into this run.
Wright just staying nose to bumper on Faircloth right in front of him. That Sim Magic Toyota Supra. He did not want to lose that draft. He was not allowing Dennis Faircloth to break that by any means.
Yeah, I can tell Jeff Wright's definitely saving fuel into the corner. You see how much time he gives up, and it's working. But we'll see. He just can't afford to lose too much track position to where the fuel becomes really not an issue because of how much the car begins to fall off here. And we'll see as Mahalski getting some clean out of the nose. Faircloth going a little bit wide right, almost gets into him. And now Mahalski's going to have to miss. But how about Hayes with the run, trying to get the 3-for-1 special into turn 3 to the inside of Wright. He gets there, but he won't be able to pass, at least be able to pass Mahalski. He won't get by Faircloth off of 3 here. But what a run for Brody Hayes, and after a mistake from Dennis Faircloth and Jeff Wright, was able to capitalize on one position and almost got all 3 of them into turn number 3.
Oh, and a big sin from the 37 into 1, almost back into the bumper of the 48 once more. Kind of stacks up Mayato and Mahalski on that as well. Faircloth into the wall in the exit.
That stacked Mahalski and Samard there off the corner. And look at Loveland with the run he has. He'll take, it looked like he's going to take him 3, but he'll at least stay behind his teammate Samard into the tunnel turn, and they'll get by. But man, almost some serious contact in the last lap or so. As Faircloth almost gets the wall again.
Loveland looking to the inside of Faircloth. Will he have the momentum? Faircloth is way out of the groove. He's going to get by him with ease. Faircloth will not have the momentum, but he's going to put that slide job right in front of the 80. Loveland get the bumper.
Just missed out. Frey going to get to the behind him, and now Massey peeking out of line. Going out of line. Oh man, Frey sways over a little bit and almost gets into the side of the 23. And Faircloth maybe pushed his tires a little too hard. He's struggling here. They're going to be 3 wide off of turn 1 and back to 2 as Massey going to try to get the 2-for-1 special in a lap as he goes underneath Faircloth and now into the tunnel turn in the not so preferred position as Faircloth backs out of the gas and lets Massey go. And Frey now will try to work on passing Faircloth, but Frey goes wide, and that allows Atkins and Sexton and even Ronnie Osman to catch up.
Atkins can certainly be looking to the inside of the 82 in turn number 3 here, but he's going to shut that door. He'll stay close to that yellow line just enough, but Sexton's going to get a run to the outside. He'll have the momentum on the exit and the draft at the 82 in front of him. Fly, Eagles, fly.
He is. Those Eagles flying no matter what in the NFC East. And now, right now, the Eagles' colors flying in Pennsylvania here once again as Sexton is able to clear Atkins, and now Ronnie Osmer going to the outside here of Cody Atkins, and he will get that spot off of turn 1, carrying momentum down Long Pond straightaway. And, well, I'll tell you what, though, Gary Sexton moving up. How about Ray Massey moving up underneath James Loveland into the tunnel turn and getting that spot?
It's a little bit wide on the exit. Had to lift just a touch. I don't think he's going to let that door open back up for Loveland to get underneath him into turn number 3 as Faircloth looks to the outside once more. That high line, it's kind of working, but not well enough. Faircloth is going to lose just a little bit of time through the corner and out of the exit. Massey gets a massive jump out of turn number 3. He'll be clear of the 0-2 for at least a little while.
Sure will, and we'll see as they go to turn 1, see if Faircloth can maybe use that outside lane again as there he goes. And now he's just going to try to carry momentum on the exit. He's got to be careful, though. You get up in the marbles, get tight and hit the wall there. You almost see him do that. And now Frey going to enter the picture again to see if he can get by Faircloth into 2.
Faircloth is going to cut it low enough and keep the momentum going so that the 82 can't. Kevin Frey without an opportunity. This is allowing Sexton to catch up to the back end of him.
It is, and Sexton's there now, and that number 1 car starting to look good, looking like Saquon Barkley cutting through defenses this year, but this right now looking like Sexton's cutting through traffic pretty good, and man, really, really good runs so far for Gary Sexton, who didn't have the greatest of qualifying efforts, but now starting to work himself up through this field as the run goes on, and pit stops probably within another 15 to 20, and we're talking about maybe if you're saving fuel, trying to cut this race in half. 35 laps is what is the goal mark. That's the benchmark to get to halfway and to have a chance later in this race to make it on one stop here. If you're going to two-stop it, when do you decide pitting? Maybe go 25, 50? Or are you trying to do something else maybe? Cut it even more in half and maybe do 22 or 22, 40, 44 and then to the end.
We might see a mixture of strategies out here. I know a lot of guys were out here putting down some time before the practice session even opened, and now we're obviously well into this race, coming up on lap 20 here shortly. I don't know. It's going to be the great debate on who does what here. We'll just have to keep an eye out on everything and see what happens.
I'll tell you what Servato, though, is. He has opened up that gap about, 7 or 8 tenths over Turner. And now about a second in the quarter over Jeff Wright. So 33 good pace and clean air. Then Turner with some decent pace in second, who's maybe starting to go more of a fuel save mode because Wright is starting to run him down.
The 48 machine, like you mentioned earlier, heavy on the fuel save early in this run. Probably, saving the tires too. Not a bad play out of the right pit box, but there's a whole lot of race left. A lot more strategy is going to have to come into play, but Jeff Wright with one heck of a pace now.
I think another thing we don't really talk about as well, at Pocono, we see it in the next-gen cars, shifting always a thing really on most of the ovals, but so far, Jeff Wright almost gets the wall, but maybe some guys, I don't know if we'll see any in the top 5 or so, maybe top 10 we might, but maybe some shifting going on. I'm starting to hear some up through the gears, guys going from 3rd to 4th down off of turn 3, so something to look out for too, and that's another burn, a fuel burner. It's shifting and going down shifting and up shifting in these corners, and could be something we'll see. Pocono, one of those unique tracks where shifting also becomes a thing.
It can definitely be beneficial in some spots, as Jeff Wright's going to be the first to bring it down pit road here on lap 20.
And that makes me think that maybe we're going to not see anybody go the 3 stoppers, and we'll see guys cut into thirds and 2-stop this race instead of do it on a 1-stop, as Jeremiah Vincent also into pit road, and 2 cars bringing it in a short pit for Jeff Wright. So it'll be interesting to see what AJ Servato and Bailey Turner can cook up on strategy and what they think is the right way to go. And Wright was in nice, and we'll see if he can just get a good stop here and cannot afford to speed on pit road if you're doing the strategy, because that'll most certainly end your race. And Wright, a solid stop so far, 14.4.3 or 14.3 going to be for Jeff Wright. So it'll be very interesting to see now what AJ Servato or Bailey Turner decide to do.
Looks like they'll stay out another lap. They might go for that lap 25 mark, as Dennis Faircloth brings it down pit road now. Followed by Alan Dice and Mackey.
Yeah, Dice is in. Oh, sorry, that's Coley, not Mackey. Yeah, that's Coley. Apologize. So that is Jace Coley in the 65, the rookie into pit road. And then the rest of the field continuing to stay out. So this time you got Dice, Faircloth, Coley into pit road, and Jeff Wright is sitting 35 seconds behind, 35 seconds behind our race leader, AJ Servato. He'll get the lead, but the question is, how far can he get ahead of Servato with the tire advantage will probably matter, and how will fuel matter as well. That'll be very interesting to see. I think Jeff Wright, we thought we saw him saving, and maybe he realized even with his saving, he wasn't going to make it to the end. His leader, AJ Servato, coming in.
Servato's going to bring it down. Bailey Turner, Mayato, Hayes, Samard, Mahalski, Massey, Loveland, everybody else staying out for now.
Frey's in, Carey is in, Koss coming in, Mackey stays out, Aaron Lee's coming in, I see another car behind him, Michael Jones is in, Zach Smith staying on the racetrack, I think is that Payne staying out on the racetrack, so still a lot of cars staying out on the racetrack here, but most of all, importantly, our leader, AJ Servato into pit road, And we'll see where he's able to come out here as Jeff Wright will be coming at full pace here down the front stretch as Stravato just leaving his pit box and leaving out of pit road, and Wright jumps him with ease, and he won't get the draft either. So we'll see if 2 laps is a good enough difference here on tires to get Jeff Wright the lead in clean air.
Take a look back here to that 14th spot of Jeff Wright. See Stravato back there, about a half of a backstretch.
Man, it's a long gap. Even two laps on tires. That's a lot of gap to ask for and have no draft as well. That's going to be very interesting to see as this run continues to go on. As Brody Hayes now into pit road, and it looks like I think there's one other car, Ronnie Osmer into pit road. Ooh, that's a lot of boxes to go through there for the 20. We'll see if that becomes a penalty post race, but nonetheless, into pit road won't affect his race today. And looks like Kyle Payne into pit road, so it'll be very interesting to see how everybody shakes out here. As Hayes just leaving pit road and Osmer leaving his box, and Stravato will blow by the 37, but leader Bailey Turner continues to stay out on the racetrack. Keith Mayato, really good pace out of the 36. It's surprising he doesn't stay out of their lap as he and his teammate Chris Samard come down pit road on lap 24. So it makes you think maybe Bailey Turner trying to go to 25 as Ray Massey's in, James Loveland is in, and more cars continue to stay out. And maybe Bailey Turner, one of those guys we always talk about fuel saving, is he starting to try to make it on one stop here?
Very well could turn out that way. He's got the pace, but man, he really has to worry about Jeff Wright catching up. Jeff Wright already back up to the 11th position. It's going to be tough to say how much longer Bailey Turner can stay out here, but from my knowledge of that 24 machine, he is one of the best at playing the fuel strategy game.
He sure is, and we'll see here as Wright continue to have a decent bit more fall off than AJ Stravato. Stravato's already cut a decent chunk out of that gap that Wright was able to build, and we'll see this time if Bailey Turner comes in, he will. So maybe we'll see the 25, 50, and 15 laps to set up to lap 70 to the end. So, or excuse me, 20 laps to set up to the end. So that'll be very interesting to monitor as this race continues to go on, and more longer staying out here as here comes Atkins and Dallas Sullivan is in. Mackey, Mahalski, and Sexton stay out on the racetrack, and Zach Smith stays out as well. And if these guys can catch a caution, well, they'll be in pretty good shape to jump everybody, or if not, have a fresh set of Goodyear Eagles on these race cars. And Jeff Wright will be coming down the front stretch and will blow by the 55, 46, and 24. The pole sitter in the 24 car, Stravato, now goes by as the draft drops, and Bailey Turner is off and away. He's going to lose his spot to Faircloth, Hayes, and another one to the VCB teammates of Samard and Mayato. And Samard had a solid stop there from the pit crew, and so far it's kind of jumped him up ahead of his teammate Keith Mayato.
Nothing wrong with that. That helps out in the long run, but Mahalski brought it down pit road. Now he got his 1 lap led. There's a bonus point for him. Handed the lead over to Gary Sexton.
Sexton's now taking the lead, but the question becomes, is he saving fuel, trying to make this on one stop? And we'll see, and it sounds like maybe Sexton, I don't know if I hear him clutching and coasting, but it looks like he's pedaling it a lot and not really pushing that car too hard. Oh, look at that! Caution is out on the racetrack. A huge wreck. Ray Massey and Jace Coley, heavy damage and a hard hit to the inside wall for Ray Massey and Jace Coley. The rookie's car torn to pieces off of turn number 3. Oh boy, does this change everything for this race, and a hard wreck to see, and we'll have to check what happened, but big wreck.
Yeah, on the replay right now, Ray Massey on that inside line of Jace Coley, and couldn't quite tell if one of them had moved up in the way. We'll take it back one more time. We'll hop on top of this car. Ray Massey. Let's see what just happened here, but obviously on the inside line here.
Yeah, it looks like a man. That's a hard hit for Ray Massey. I almost flipped that car over from what happened there, and it looks like maybe Coley misjudged the gap that he had, and he might have just turned the 23. Wow, what a hit for Ray Massey, almost on top of the safer barrier there. And, you know, with that caution coming out, how about Gary Sexton going to be able to get the lead and get fresh tires and really have more fuel than anybody? I'm curious to see where this will cycle everybody out. And not a lot of guys brought it in. Mahalski was able to get some fresh tires. Mackey and Zach Smith were just able to get their pit stops when the caution came out. So, very interesting to see. And, man, I just think with that wreck, it looked like maybe Colin might have just misjudged it. And, man, what a hard hit for Ray Massey. And another big shot for him in points. Had a decent run at Sonoma last week, had a wild save at Atlanta, and had a bad race at Daytona, and it's probably going to for sure be one of those drop weeks in the upcoming season.
Yeah, you almost have to assume that there's no way that Ray Massey's car is making it back out onto the racetrack. That'd be one brutal call to try to make. But you got a slurry of cars coming down now. Sexton finally.
Issue on pit road. I mean, Todd Giles came in. He's not only live, stopping in the middle of pit road. He's got to be careful. He hits Brody Hayes in the pit road into his pit box, and big mistake there. And I don't think Brody Hayes is going to be too happy with him. And wow, a lot of crazy stuff happening. And Jeremiah Vincent, Bailey Turner, Michael Jones, Noah Mahalski, Jake Mackey, Zach Smith all staying out as the field brought it in. And it looks like maybe Jeff Wright kind of got caught up there, and a lot of guys maybe fuel only and 2 tires for Dallas Solomon and Cody Atkins. And it looks like of the cars that took 4 tires, Gary Sexton is the highest running car, then followed by Wright and Stravado. But look at where they're going to restart. They are going to restart in 10th or 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. That is a lot of track position to make up. And now to Bailey Turner, and we talk about this too. You're still going to need to pit in this race. So maybe these extra tires will help. I'm not sure, but oh man, this is going to get wild and crazy.
It absolutely is. And that was one sort of an instance back there on pit road. Not too sure what happened, but taking a look back at it, we saw the 14 of Todd Giles Jr. just maybe not knowing exactly where his pit stall was, but almost slowed to a complete stop. Had a couple drivers, I know Jeff Wright was one of them, trying to maneuver his way around the 14 machine, and of course inevitably flipping the right rear of the 37. Luckily no damage on Brody Hayes' machine, but definitely lost some time there in pit road.
Yeah, looks like that is going to be very interesting of what happened. Michael Jones and bringing it in. Looks like Ronnie Osper and Alan Dice were track a lap down in that, so that's going to really hurt their chances. So Jones comes in, and that'll cycle at least everybody up a row, and pace car lights will go off, and well, yeah, we'll get one to go here and see what happens. I know it should be a little bit lengthy pace lap, but it seems like the laps are a little bit quicker than what they used to be, I will say.
Yeah, the pace truck speed right now, 75 miles per hour. Pit road speed, 55 miles per hour. So 20-mile-an-hour difference there between the two can definitely throw you off just a touch. But while we've got a second, Alec, let's talk about our schedule. So obviously, No Bull race number 2 here at Pocono, followed up by Nashville Super Speedway. We'll be heading to the country music capital there in Nashville for that race, followed up by Las Vegas, back out to the West Coast, then to the Midwest of Michigan, Darlington, Martinsville, Mid-Ohio for our 3rd No Bull Challenge race, followed by New Hampshire, then Charlotte for our last No Bull Challenge race of the regular season. Then it's time for the playoffs. Well, first we have the All-Star break, of course, but then it's time for the playoffs. Got a packed schedule here for you. It's going to come down to the wire for sure.
Sure, well, it's
doubled up here out of 2 down the back stretch. We're about a half lap away from going back green.
Yeah, we'll see here as the field is doubled up here, and it'll be Jeremiah Vincent, and then it'll be Bailey Turner here to get us going here to the Well, not halfway, but it'll be close to halfway, to put it at that. And man, we're gonna be interested to see how strategy will shake out as the pace car truck, excuse me, will pull off into pit lane, and the green flag will come back out. And we're back away from Pocono Raceway, and a big jump for the 24 Turner, and a battle for second between Mackey and Vincent.
Mahalski back up to that high line there. He's been liking that line.
Two cars fanning out here. How about Faircloth way up the racetrack, going to take right 3 wide and maybe lose right some positions as Smith closes the door on Faircloth. Faircloth shoots middle, and now Wright going to be on the bottom of 3 wide into the tunnel turn. Mackey losing spots with Vincent, and that allows Mahalski to get up to second, and they'll stack up in the tunnel turn. Contact between Vincent and Stravado. There's more contact. Around goes Jeremiah Vincent in front of the field. Faircloth is around. Hey, Kerry slams in the driver's side door, and he gets slammed by Giles.
Wow.
Oh, man, and another big wreck to get the cautions, breeding cautions, and a huge, huge hit to the side of Faircloth, and another caution coming out, and a big wreck there for Dennis Faircloth, who was having such a promising run, and it looked like Jeremiah Vincent might have just, I don't know what happened there. A lot of contact in the tunnel turn, and the tunnel turn, one of those most treacherous parts of this racetrack, striking again, and a huge, huge wreck for Faircloth, Perry, and Giles.
Take this back one more time. We'll take a look at the onboard camera. There goes Vincent getting loose. Just no room at all for Dennis Faircloth. Got doored on the outside there and just sent things in circles.
Yeah, a hard hit there. We'll see Terry gets into him, and then Giles comes right into the back of Terry, and just a big, big wreck there for everybody involved, and just tough hit for Terry, who had a solid run, has had some solid runs lately and won Daytona, and Faircloth needing a good run there, and he's going to have to, unfortunately, another drop with probably a lot of damage here, and I think this is going to allow Ronnie Osborne to get the lucky dog here. But they say cautions breed cautions, and I think we're starting to see it here.
Giles almost clipping Max Koss, got him sideways again. Had that not happened, we might have seen Giles get on that low line and avoid all of that.
We will for sure see a difference. Now it makes you wonder here where we're at. Can anybody stretch it on fuel here? I don't think we've seen anybody bringing in but Mackey now, but with the way these cautions are falling, is it starting to become even more of a fuel mileage race here?
Most certainly is. Came around, we're starting lap 33 under pacing conditions here. Pace lights are still on the truck. We've got at least one more coming around, but
yeah. Well, at least we're pacing still, so nothing will be missed other than Oscar getting his lucky dog. But hey, while we're doing that, how about we hear from some of our sponsors, and then we'll be right back for the restart here at Pocono.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
And we're
And
back.
Yeah, we are, and we are back, and welcome back to the Pocono 200 here, and what has been a pretty wild race so far after the first caution that came out there involving a whole lot of drivers. This is the KHIO 175, I should say, and what a wild turn of events we've seen so far. And now another restart to bunch these guys back up, but I think this second run is shortening up here, and we kind of forgot to mention too, a lot of the guys that pitted, well, they only got one more set of tires, where some of the guys that didn't pit, excuse me, have another set left in the bank, even if they pit one more time.
Yeah, there's a mixture of strategies that we have out here on the track tonight. But they're coming around. The pace truck is off. That front row. They're going to take the green flag here, and we're away one more time at Pocono.
Zach Smith did not have a good restart. Cars fanning down the front stretch. Stravato and Wright making moves, and we'll see a little bit of contact back behind between Smith and Atkins, but now Mahalski and Sexton race side by side, and Sexton, one of the cars on the freshest set of tires in this field compared to Mahalski and Bailey Turner. As Sexton looks low, looks high, he'll push the 03 down Long Pond straightaway as Bailey Turner trying to shake the draft down the backstretch and now into the tunnel turn. They'll go. This contact. Sexton gets hit by Stravato.
Saved it.
Save it. Incredible save from Gary Sexton. Here comes Stravato to the middle, and it comes right even lower to the inside. And there's more contact again between Sexton and Hayes as Wright trying to clear by the 33 of Stravato, but he can't do it. And here comes Hayes with the run, but now heavy damage to the one of Sexton. Noah Mahalski's starting to pressure Turner for the lead here. Could he get his first win at Pocono here tonight?
Wow.
Side-by-side battle for third, and Hayes not letting him go yet. But letting these two get out of sight is now Wright going to try to clear Stravato. He can't, and these two are just costing everybody behind them time as the top two continue to pull away.
I'm still in awe of
what a save
Gary Sexton's ability to just save that car not only once but twice in back-to-back corners. Fantastic driving by that driver.
An amazing save from Sexton in that Philadelphia Eagles race car, but now it makes you wonder, was even Sexton having a little bit of damage? How much damage does AJ Stravato have on that right front? And one of the most important pieces and parts of these race cars, to have that kind of damage could really affect the performance of the 33. As Wright was able to get by Stravato, but now Stravato getting a big push from Hayes, and this time I think is going to cost that position to Mr. Stravato. And now look behind them, Dallas Sullivan making some moves up to 6th, getting by Gary Sexton. Smith going way up the racetrack, battling with Samard for 10th and Kevin Frey in 11th. But maybe a good move there for Jeff Wright. But can they run down these top two who are a second and a half ahead of from third and the rest of the field? But how about Mahalski going for the lead? Could this be the day Noah Mahalski's able to finally break through and get a win? Turner pinching him low. Mahalski gets tight on the inside, and they'll be able to gather it up as Wright continues to start running them down. And Logan, if you're a crew chief on one of these pit boxes, when do you bring these drivers in? Because we know they can't make it to the end on fuel.
You know, I would almost have to say about lap 55 would probably be the best. Anywhere from 52 to 55 would be my ideal call. Those tires are running very well right now in that 8 to roughly 15 lap range. So I think that's your money pit stop lap.
We'll have to see. Mahalski sends it down to the inside of the Bailey Turner into the tunnel turn. He won't be able to do that as Turner holds on to the lead, and now Wright starting to put some pressure on these top two with a little bit more speed coming out of the 48, looking to go 3 in a row after he won Atlanta. He won at Sonoma, now looking to win here at Pocono as Samard able to get by Zach Smith for what is the 10th place position, but Samard just not clearing up in time, and now Smith gets back to the outside. This is costing both of them time to these top 9 ahead of them. And I think Jeff Wright's going to have something to say for this lead. And I wonder if Stravato, how much damage he has, because he is really, really falling off here off the 48 in the top 2.
Yeah, Stravato, it doesn't appear like there's a whole lot of damage on that front right, but there's more to it than meets the eye. There could be a little bit of toe link damage potentially. That'll slow you down quite a bit. Is right behind Keith Mayato, gets to the inside of the 46, and Dallas Sullivan gets him clear into turn number 2. And they'll be able to stay out in front as Sexton now looks to the inside of Dallas Sullivan. Going into turn number 3 here. We'll keep him on the high side. Sexton with an attempt at a recovery from all those positions lost. We'll see if he can make his way back up towards the front. A little bit further behind, though, we have the 82 of Kevin Fry on the inside of the 91, Zach Smith.
And Frey's going to get by to the inside of Smith, who's got help from James Loveland and Max Cost. And we'll see Frey diving into turn number 1, and he will get that spot away from Smith. And now Loveland will look to work on the 91 as well as the 63 at Cost. Try to get by Smith here, and now Loveland to the inside of the 91, and he is going to lose 1, and now maybe a second spot to Max Cost in the 63 car, who will go down to the inside of that white and blue Chevy Camaro. And I'll tell you what, though, for this what looks to be top 10, I think Sexton's damage is really, really hurting him. That left rear damage can't be helping. And I think right now, as Atkins and Sullivan have been able to get by, it's really starting to hurt here. And I'll tell you what, got a 3-car battle for the lead here. Jeff Wright's caught up to Mahalski and Turner, but he's got a little bit fresher tires. But how much will these tires really matter? Can he be able to work by both of these drivers and get the lead and pull away from the guys that are closest to him with the freshest tires?
You know, Jeff Wright's got the ability. It's just going to come down to a matter of time. You know, we're talking about this last pit stop cycle. Is he going to be affected heavily by that or not? But right now, Bailey Turner still dropping down low on the back and the front stretch to break that draft. But as soon as Jeff Wright catches up to the back bumper of Noah Mahalski, which is not much longer, I doubt that we see Turner making that move anymore.
And we'll see, he's basically there on Mahalski, and we'll see what happens. Is now Wright has kind of caught up, but he's in the dirty air of the 03 and the 24, so it's going to affect him a little bit, but the tire advantage should hopefully help in this case for Jeff Wright. And this time Turner shakes the draft, but now he's got to get back up because Wright is pushing Mahalski down the front stretch. And look at how much time they're going to gain as he looks like Wright maybe knocking the 03 sideways here, and this should allow Wright to at least get underneath the 03 here. We'll see here off of turn number 1 as they both all slide up. Oh, Jeff Wright hits the wall, and that's a hard hit for Jeff Wright, and maybe going to cost him, give him a lot of damage here, because that was a solid pop to the outside of the safer barrier.
That put Mahalski right in a perfect spot. Mahalski was able to get up to the back bumper of Bailey Turner through turn 1 with that assistance.
Pushing him down here, down the short chute here to turn number 3, and 1 lap difference on tire here, and a 4-lap difference, or 3-lap difference, excuse me, on tire between Jeff Wright. But now it makes you wonder, how much damage does he have to the right side of that car? Because he did get the wall off of turn 1 pretty solid.
Evidently not enough, because he caught right back up to them, and now he is about to get back to that back bumper once more of Noah Mahalski. See if these two can make something happen and get around the 24.
Oh man, Mahalski got a good chance, good run there off of into 1, but can't seem to get underneath Turner. And as this is happening, this is allowing the rest of the field to kind of catch up. Stravato's cut this under a second. Hayes just flirting at about a second behind. And then a little bit of a gap between Keith Mayato, who's kind of all in a zone of his own. Doesn't have a lot of draft in front and a lot of draft behind as he's starting to pull away from Dallas Sullivan and Cody Atkins. So we'll have to see when this pit stop's happen. How about this? Here comes Mahalski to the inside of Turner for the lead.
Finally had the momentum that he needed.
Oh, he just got tight. He got tight underneath here, but he has the advantage. There's contact off of turn number 3. Now side by side for the lead. Will Jeff Wright be able to do anything as these two side racking each other down the front stretch? Wright just staying behind Turner. Mahalski squeezing Turner up almost into the outside retaining wall. But Turner sends it in on the outside. Mahalski going to give the right rear to his teammate Jeff Wright, but he holds on, but he gets tight underneath them, and that might be all she wrote for Noah Mahalski, who lets Jeff Wright get right on by.
Coming around that front stretch, we saw the 3 of Jeremiah Vincent bring it down pit road earlier than everybody else. Right now, Todd Giles Jr., Ray Massey, Jace Coley, all out of this race. We have 23 cars on the field still yet, but this battle up here for the lead has finally really started to heat up.
We know Bailey Turner is one of the hardest passes to ever really make in the BTDY Racing Series, as Wright struggles in the dirty air of the 24. Now Turner shaking the draft as Wright goes to follow and take the bait, as well as Mahovsky and Stravato and Hayes. They all dive down the front stretch, and while this is happening, it's allowing Keith Mayada to also close up, and we might have a 6 or so car breakaway as Wright trying everything he can to find a way around Bailey Turner, and Mahovsky, who lost that spot to Wright, is starting to struggle a little bit more as well. And Mahovsky not really shaking, or these guys not really shaking Mahovsky, and they're not really shaking Stravato and Hayes. And as these continue to battle, Mayada is turning the fastest laps of all of them. But this Brody Hayes taking a run on the inside of Stravato. It's going to be a tough pass to make here unless Stravato can make a mistake. Hayes to the inside of Stravato, just not going to have the momentum off the corner as these drivers continue. But right here, this might be the key to shake the draft. Is looks like Turner goes down, but nobody else taking the bait. And now Hayes feels kind of stuck on the inside here, side drafting AJ Stravato down the front stretch. But will it be enough to clear the 33? I don't believe so, as he sends it in tough, hard, and deep into the corner. But just not going to be enough here on the exit, as Stravato will carry momentum down Long Pond straightaway.
Here's another effect in play. A lap car, the 21 of Justin Carey. We've got traffic ahead of our leaders.
This probably won't affect Turner too much in the tone turn unless giving some dirty air. But other than that, I think we'll see here where Carey's going to stay here into turn number 3 as Turner and Wright will continue to get by. And looks like Carey will get out of the way and do a fantastic job letting him go. The only guy that might affect is Stravato, who Hayes comes up and he gets clipped and he puts Stravato in the wall. And the 37 and 33 hit the wall hard and probably take themselves out of contention. And Hayes, heavy damage to the right side and heavy damage to the right side of the 33, who has a ton of right front damage in the season that was starting so consistent for AJ Stravato is coming unraveled as heavy, probably suspension damage to the 33.
Yeah, that was a big time hit. Just took it back on the replay just for a quick look at it. Hayes and Stravato, some of the biggest hits that we've seen so far this race. And Hayes, a lot of damage.
Yeah.
He's coming down to the apron now.
Yeah.
He'll stay out of the way.
And that just looked more like they just didn't, both racing for the same space, and then they just didn't give each other room, and then both of them end up in the outside wall, and just, you know, it just happens when you're racing like that. But I think Hayes and Stravato both bringing down pit road and killing. How about Dallas Sullivan now running in the top 5?
Now this was a 5-horse race there. Now just down to 3 as we have a massive gap of almost 2.5 seconds from 3rd to 4th. Oh, Mahovsky in that black and green to Keith Mayada back here in the 36.
Mahovsky has a run here, but he stays behind Wright. He could have easily taken it and would have had draft, but thinks better of it, and right now can Keith Mayada make up enough of a gap, who doesn't really have any draft. And, you know, we also can't keep forgetting, too, can any of these guys, we did have a lot of caution laps, can they make it on fuel to the end? Is that still a possibility?
Normally I like to get down there and take some practice laps, see what the fuel mileage is really like.
Oh, there's Jeff Wright into pit road.
And Mahovsky following.
Oh, Jeff really hot on the brakes. That's fast. He might have sped. That is really fast for Jeff Wright. We will see what happens if that costs him a chance at the win. And will that be enough to give Jeff Wright a penalty, who was flying into pit road, and will probably force the hand of Turner to come into pit road? We'll take a look and we'll see it with Jeff Wright if a penalty will pop up. I don't see anything yet. They're jacking the car up. He's got the right sides on. They'll take the left sides off and pop a new set on. We'll see if he exits his pit box. He does. No speeding penalty for Jeff Wright. Incredible out of the 48 crew. And this will probably give him the lead, as Mahovsky had a terrible pit sequence.
Bailey Turner now coming around turn number 3.
Oh,
he's going to elect to stay out once more.
And here comes Sullivan and Atkins coming down into pit road, and now a battle between Sexton and Samard This becomes very interesting now as these two battling. Samard will go up to third. Frey trying to get around Sexton here. Sexton pops back in line. And now Frey in the 82 trying to go around in that Moon Chevrolet Camaro, that yellow and the eyes on the hood. Now Frey going to the outside of Sexton. Might not be able to make it work. Is Loveland even behind Frey. And Osmer, who was the lucky dog recipient that last caution, has worked himself up into 7th, but going to need some things to fall his way. And it makes you wonder, Osmer, look at when he pitted. He came in 17 laps ago, so it would have been about lap 20 or lap 33. If he was to save enough fuel into those cautions, and he topped off on fuel, being the lucky dog, can Ronnie Osmer make it on fuel to the end?
It's so hard to say, but now we've got Keith Mayato, I believe, coming in. Or sorry, that was Gary Sexton.
Samard, Sexton, Loveland all into pit road. So that leaves Bailey Turner and Kevin Frey on the racetrack here. And Osmer stays out. Zach Smith stays out. Jake Mackey and Kyle Payne stay out as Jeff Wright has pulled a 3.5 second gap over Noah Mahalski, who has just unfortunately has really costed himself a chance at winning this race.
Take a look at this battle off of pit road here as they'll be dropping the left sides here shortly. Sexton, the first one out of the box. Beats Loveland out. He's going to beat Samard out. He's going to slot in right behind Keith Mayato.
He won't be able to beat Mayato out, but Samard, another one, a terrible pit sequences, loses 2 spots there. And we'll lose some more to Sullivan and Cody Atkins, who was able to jump teammate Sullivan, but won't be able to get by Keith Mayato, even with the full head of steam down Long Pond straightaway. But now you got to wonder, when does Bailey Turner bring it to pit road? As here comes Frey, and now Bailey Turner is in pit road.
Did, yes. Turner and Frey both brought it down. Osmer staying out. Zach Smith staying out. Mackie Payne. They're both still out here as well.
It's going to be a 3-lap difference on tires. I don't know if that's going to work, and this could just hand over Jeff Wright his 3rd win in a row, which is probably the case. But if there's anybody to never doubt on strategy, it's definitely Bailey Turner, as Frey missed his pit box, so that's going to hurt his chance at a win. As Turner is off and away as Wright goes by. Mahalski will probably as well go by, but he won't lose another spot to Keith Mayato's. Ooh, man.
Osmer with big contact at the wall.
That looked like a hard hit there for Osmer, so that's going to hurt his chances. But now we got to look at this possibility. Can Ronnie Osmer make it on fuel? Can Jake Mackey make it on fuel? And those guys are sitting 20 or so seconds ahead of Jeff Wright, but they're going to have to go another 18 laps. So that would be 38 total laps on at least this tank of fuel, but they got a lot of caution laps as well as Ronnie Osmer and Jake Mackey, who topped off on fuel. So we can throw their hat into the ring, but is it going to be enough to make it on fuel? It's 22 seconds to gap, so still a long way to go here, but it'll be very tough to see if he can maybe, just maybe, make it up on fuel.
That's one thing to definitely consider. Right now we're seeing our top 5, or rather 4, turning laps in the 57.2 range. Jeff Wright sitting in 5th at 55.1, so he has enough time. If he can keep that 2-second better pace, even with the fuel strategy, I think he can still make it.
The problem is, can he? Because that is a lot of pace to keep up. We know the tires will even out at a certain point. That's going to be really hard, I think, at a certain point. I think he could. He's one of the really, he's the best guy in this field. There's no doubt about that for Jeff Wright. Just the tire falloff's it's gonna even out at a certain point where he won't be 2 seconds a lap faster. So that's gonna be tough to see if he can do that. If he can get it to the end. He's got 20 seconds to make up, and well, he's got 15 laps to do so. So it's gonna be tough to see if he can do it. If Osmer and Mackey can make it on fuel, and we cannot Bailey Turner yet too, who has 3-lap pressure tires than Wright, and now has draft from Mahalski. So there's a little bit of hope here for Turner to maybe have a chance at Wright and run him down. And now, given the tire advantage, we'll see. But that time was a half a second faster than Jeff Wright. I don't think there's much save left anymore. It's more all push, push, push here to the end.
Yeah, you have to assume that this race is going to go green the rest of the way. So you have to give it every ounce of effort that you have available as Mahalski gets around the Latin car of Justin Carey. Carey staying high, allowing Bailey Turner to get on that inside line. Iotto follows.
And the key for Jeff Wright right now is that Jeff Wright has draft. So everything really falling in Jeff Wright's hands right here. He has draft, so it's going to keep him at least from losing too much time down the straightaways, even with the tire advantage. So we'll be able to see what happens here as Jeff Wright now still a second ahead. So there's an upside and a downside of Jeff Wright being in traffic here. Upside, he has draft on the straightaways. Downside, he has dirty air in the corners. And that could hurt Bailey Turner, or hurt Jeff Wright if Bailey Turner gets by Mahalski, because then Bailey Turner has about 3 seconds of clean air ahead of him.
Right now, Turner's still turning laps, a little over a half second faster than Jeff Wright.
Those tires will even out at a certain point, but how much will they even out is the question. As Turner now has a chance here to get by Mahalski, and I think he'll do so into turn one here. Mahalski's going to put up a fight, and remember, teammates with Jeff Wright in a way, an affiliation, so we'll see here, but I don't think Mahalski is going to have much of a fight to put up here with Bailey Turner, who's going to have a huge run down this front stretch. You'll see him in the draft go to the inside here, and I don't think Mahalski's going to really have much to say for Turner here, as Mahalski did send it in, but Turner just has tires. But no, Mahalski stays on the outside, and he's being a good teammate to Jeff Wright. I don't think Turner was too much of a fan of that move by Mahalski, but Mahalski just being a good teammate here.
Gotta do what you gotta do, but a little bit further back, we've got this three-car battle here. It's gonna be Sexton, Loveland, and Samard. Mr. Sorry in that 77 speed machine.
Samard gonna get back in line here, and Loveland gonna get back in line as Samard. And we talked about Samard. He lost some ground on the pit stops there, and just didn't have a good sequence, and that really hurt him. And Zach Smith brought it down pit lane. So yeah, this is really not helping Chris Samard in that loss of track position to his teammate, to Gary Sexton. Is Jeff Wright able to get by Jeremiah Vincent here? But as Jeff Wright makes passes, it hurts his time a little bit, and we'll see if Bailey Turner can run down Jeff Wright. But Bailey, just looking at what's happening, he's losing a tenth or so down the straightaways just because of no draft.
Now Jeff Wright will have a little bit of an advantage with the three right on that back bumper. That'll give him a little bit of a push, but Vincent falls off rapidly off the back of the 48.
Yeah, we'll see. This depends how much time does Bailey Turner have before tires even out, and I think soon enough those tires will have fully evened out, and I think they're starting to even out right now as Turner and Wright almost not trading, but 4/10, that gap that was half a second is starting to fall down really quick.
He is only 3 seconds back from Jeff Wright at the moment.
If he could get the draft, that would be the huge help, I think.
Which eventually he'll catch that draft of Vincent. Just have to see, like you said, if that helps him at all. It could hinder him.
This would be very interesting to see. So far, I don't think Turner's going to have enough. I don't think at the moment. There's just a lot of things working against him that aren't falling in his favor. If Wright had no draft, I think Turner would have a chance, but because Wright's had draft over this entire run, I don't think Turner's going to be able to make up the gap that he would in the corners by not having. Now, once Turner gets the draft from Vincent, then maybe there's some hope here, but I just think right now these tires are going to even out to a certain point, and that might be all she wrote. Now, we also got to focus on Ronnie Osmer and Jake Mackey. I think Mackey will get swallowed up by Wright, but Osmer has a 14-second lead over Jeff Wright. He's closing up on 10 laps to go here. At the pace Wright's going, I don't think there's going to be enough time for Wright to run him down, but we just got to think, though, can Osmer make it on fuel? That's the question. But I think right now he's downshifting, which I don't think bodes well for him, and I think he's bringing it down pit lane right here. So that might be all she wrote for Osmer, and that'll just give it to Jeff Wright here, and we'll get the lead. And I think we'll see as Turner's cut a second, but it's going to be tough as Turner's getting through traffic, but he just needs to make it quick, and right there he's just going to get costed a lot of time by where he caught the cars. That cost him
Curious to
310.
see if Mackey has enough fuel to make it. Obviously, we just saw Oscar bring it down pit road, but Mackey elected to stay out. Could be an attempt to collect a bonus point for a lap led, but maybe he does have enough in that 99 machine.
We'll see, but he's got 3 seconds a lap almost slower than Wright. Wright will be there in no time. Maybe it'll get him a top 10 if he could do it, but 10 laps to go on fuel saving here is going to be tough. It's going to be tough here for the 99 to see if he can do that. As Jeff Wright continues to have the lead here, but we'll have to see if he can hold off Turner, who's still at about two and a third quarter second here, and I think these tires are starting to even off for Bailey Turner because Turner's just not turning the lap times, and even then Jeff Wright still continues to have draft, and that's just what's killing Bailey Turner.
And right now picking up the draft of the 63 of Max Cost.
Cost is a teammate, so I think as soon as Wright gets to him, he'll just get out of the way and let Wright go. So we'll see. It hurts right in the corners because of dirty air, but the straightaway difference is so good that you can. It's okay to get hurt by the dirty air in the corners because the straightaway advantage is worth it more than anything. And Turner's pushing his car, and I think he's pushing it too hard right now. And I've seen a lot of guys run down guys at Pocono, and just what I'm seeing out of Bailey Turner, I think he's getting desperate and trying to find something, but that's it. Trouble! Dallas Sullivan, I think, got the wall off of turn number 2. He's good now, battling with Chris Samard, but there's a little bit of contact. Faircloth coming in.
Mackey brings it down pit lane, so that does hand over the lead to Jeff Wright.
And I think that'll be the win for Jeff Wright, who will be looking to go 3 in a row, but I just don't think if you're Jeff Wright, having a teammate tow you along, Bailey Turner, the odds are against him. He's at a 2-to-1 ratio right now, and that's not gonna be enough for Turner, I don't think.
Yeah, you can see Turner in the backdrop there, just all alone, nobody around to help. 48, just able to stay right there in that draft pocket of his teammate Cost.
And even if Cost doesn't go, I mean, you're going to have clean air and you'll have a pusher, so I think that helps either way. Is Wright trying to get around, but even though Cost is a teammate, you got to also think about Cost trying to stay in the lead lap as well. But eventually, I think teammate games will probably go better than staying on the lead lap. Is Wright, no matter what you think is pace advantage overall, will get by Cost no problem, and that'll be that. And Jeff Wright will look to see, with just about 5 laps to go, or coming up to 5 laps to go in just a couple laps, can he hold on? And now he's got a gunner behind him. I just think this race is getting close to over here for Bailey Turner, unless he can just pull out some really, really good times.
Turner was able to put another half-second difference between himself and Wright.
Oh, he got the wall. I just think that we'll see this lap. This lap will be the tall tale sign because Wright was able to get clean air here over and get around Cost. So this will be the key maker here. Is there enough time for Turner to run him down? And as Turner starts to get a little bit of the draft from Cost, that'll help a little bit. But we'll see a 56.4 for Wright, a 56.1 for Turner. Not bad, but not enough.
Take another look back here to this 4-car battle. So around the 6th position, starting with Gary Sexton in the Fly Eagles Fly, then followed by the 02 of Loveland, the 77 of Samard, and the 46 of Dallas Sullivan.
What a rebound and a recovery in a sense for Sexton, who could have been in the battle for the win. Got hit by AJ Stravato, had an amazing save in the tunnel turn, which should have ended up in probably a 10-car wreck. Saved it and did a heck of a time. And right now, good recovery and what is looking to be Gary Sexton's best run of the season so far. Solid run here for the Eagles machine, and he's doing a good job so far. Maybe we get Cody Atkins here and get that 5th place position. That'd be a really, really good day for Sexton. Who is he our biggest mover of the race?
Let's see here. Sexton currently up 7. Ronnie Osmer is up 8. Zach Smith up 12, and then Kyle Payne back there in 14th, up 10. So not quite the biggest mover. He's up there with them. But
Cost
overall.
looks
Zach
like
Smith,
Mike
that
Turner.
91 machine.
Cost led by Turner, and this time still 3/10, but now Turner doesn't have any cars to affect dirty air, and he doesn't. Well, he has a little bit of draft from the 48, so this will be the key here with 5 to go. Can Turner mount enough of a charge to get to Jeff Wright and win this race with 3-lap fresher tires? Have these tires evened out is the question, and this right here will be the money lap, I would have to say here. This next upcoming lap, you have clean air. How much pressure can you put on Jeff Wright here? Even right now, he was still trailing behind Cost until the straightaway. That time, 3/10. This will be the lap to see if Wright will have, or if Turner will have anything for Jeff Wright. Just one car, no car separating them, so it's just up to Turner to see if he can put some good laps, solid laps together, and catch that 48 car.
Like you just mentioned earlier, though, Gary Sexton has closed that gap on the 55 of Adkins.
Oh, watch
might
out,
be
Jeremiah.
Woo. Sexton might be able to put that one machine up there in the top 5 spot.
We'll have to see here, and the tunnel turn really going to affect Turner. And these guys still having a good battle. Sexton is reeling in Cody Atkins, and he does have 1 lap fresher tires. And Zach Smith able to get by Aaron Lee and move up to 12th. And we'll see here this battle for the lead. We'll see the lap time here as they come across the front straightaway with 4 laps to go, excuse me.
Still
and
3/10 better.
Will be 3/10 better. That is enough, but now Turner has the draft, but now he's got the dirty air from the 48 as well. Is there enough time to get to Jeff Wright? Does maybe Turner use a bumper on him for the win if he can? And this time he closes up another 2/10. He's there.
He's got all the draft now. I'd say we'll see him battling for it in about 2 laps is whenever this will really kick off.
We'll see. This is the corner I really get worried about when you're trailing behind another car. Is the dirty air. There's no other lane to go in and search. You have to stay behind them here. And I think right now, this is where you can move around here. Where does Turner go? He sends it into turn number 1, into 3. Gets that left front headlight in the clean air here. This is a chance here down this front stretch. 3 laps to go this time by. He cut another 2 or 3/10 out. Now Wright is going to have to start playing games with shaking the draft.
Keep an eye on the battle at the top of the screen back there between 6th and 9th. Still, well, even 5th actually.
Really,
Adkins all the way back to Sullivan.
Turner had a really good one in 2. This is a chance here. What can Bailey Turner do? He stays up next to the wall. Jeff Wright going to have to take that line away, take that air away into the tunnel turn. Turner just overshoots the corner a little bit. Wright able to keep on, but can he get the exit off the corner? He can. Turner just a 10th behind. He's got a chance here. Logan, I think he might have to get aggressive and move right if he wants to have a chance at winning this. He goes high, gets some clean air. Wright did a good job taking the air away that last time, but Turner's still going to have a run.
Turner staying low and keeping some clean air on that front left. Definitely helps through turn number 3. See Jeff Wright in front of him here, swerving down the front stretch, breaking that draft as much as possible. Turner with a big run into 1, but he's going to have to slow it up quite a bit.
We'll see what happens. Wright gets tight off of turn number 1. This should allow Turner with one more chance here. Coming with a lap and a half to go down the Long Pond straightaway. Wright shakes the draft. Turner stays up by the outside wall into the tunnel turn now. Here, racing for the win, racing for the lead. Turner backs up the corner, but he's going to get tight in the dirty air of the 48. Now, down the short chute. They'll see this one last time here into turn number 3. Wright looking to go 3 in a row. Turner looking to start the season off for himself with a bang. Off of turn number 3. White flag, 1 more lap to go for the Pocono Raceway. Can Jeff Wright hold off Bailey Turner for the win? Wright shakes the draft. Turner holds up to the outside lane, trying to point himself into turn 1. Will we see Turner get aggressive? Into turn 1 they go. Turner sends it in. Wright sends it in. Fresher tires on the 24. Will they make a difference? Wright off of turn 2. 1. He gets loose. He almost taps the wall. Turner in the draft. Looks low. Not enough. Still a 1/10 of a second separating them. Into the tunnel turn they'll go for the final time here at Pocono. into the total turn. Turner gets to the bumper. He tries to move right. He hits him, but he almost gets up to the wall. He does. And Wright begins to add to the gap. A tenth of a second now, 3/10 of a second into turn number 3. You can't stop the man. The reigning champion won in Atlanta. He won at Sonoma, and he'll go 3 in a row here at the Tricky Triangle. Jeff Wright will get the win and win the KHIO 175 at Pocono.
3 in a row for the 48 machine.
What
Can't
a
be
win.
upset with that at all.
And the hardest win that Jeff Wright had to do it. Four races, 3 wins for Jeff Wright, and for sure making himself a statement and looking like a Max Verstappen-esque run here at Pocono. And what a win for Jeff Wright to get 3 in a row. And man, oh man, he had to work for that one. And I really think those lap cars over the course of that run probably helped Jeff win this race. But nonetheless, it ended up working out for him. And what a way to get 3 in a row.
And he took 2 of the hardest tracks so far. Well, of course, so far, only having 4 races down, but still, Sonoma, a very tough road course. They call it the Tricky Triangle for a reason, but the 48 machine of Jeff Wright, he conquered it.
Sure did. And man, what a race for him. And I think that was the race he had to earn it the most. To Atlanta, he had the field on check. We knew he was going to win Sonoma. Nobody could really touch him there. But this race, he had to earn, and he sure as heck did that. And what a win for Jeff Wright. And as he burns it down on the front stretch, we'll be right back after a quick commercial break for post-race interviews to talk to your top 3, Jeff Wright, Keith Mayato, and Bailey Turner. Stick around for post-race interviews. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Sailor Tarot Magic is the spot to get a reading from Sally, an intuitive healer and tarot reader. Known as the Nurturing Reader at New Jersey Street Fairs, you can also check out our YouTube channel for lunar and astro readings, as well as our Instagram for live weekly readings. Her rates are affordable, and you will leave with a newfound perspective. Sally is now offering an introductory class on tarot cards and intuition, and is available for parties. Call or text 732-314-0777 to schedule your reading today.
And welcome back to the Pocono Race 2 after the conclusion of the KHIO 175, where Jeff Wright has been victorious for the third straight week in a row. Let's take a look at our finishing results here tonight from Pocono Raceway, and what a race we saw. Exciting battle to the end for the finish, for the win. Jeff Wright is the winner, and then Bailey Turner was second. Keith Mayato was third. Noah Mahusky is fourth. Cody Atkins with a top 5 run. Gary Sexton, after a heck of a save in the tunnel turn, is 7th. Chris Samard was 8th. Dallas Sullivan was 9th. And Ronnie Osmer was in 10th.
Back here in 11th, we have the 82 of Kevin Frey, followed up by the 91 of Zach Smith. Then we have Aaron Lee in 13th. Jake Mackey takes the 99 back to 14th. Kyle Payne will take home 15th, followed by Max Cost in 16th. Jeremiah Vincent will take home 17th tonight. Alan Dice in the 5 will take 18th. Michael Jones, who we didn't get to talk about at all, still one of my favorite paint schemes on the track. That number 2 Coca-Cola takes home 19th, followed up by Justin Carey, Daytona winner, in 20th.
And 21st was Dennis Faircloth, who was caught up in a wreck. And all these drivers that we're going to see were all caught up in an incident. We're caught up in incidents today. Dennis Faircloth was 21st. AJ Stravato and Brody Hayes, 22nd and 23rd. 24th was Todd Giles Jr., 25th was Ray Massey, and 26th was Jace Coley. And that rounds out the field here for tonight's race at the Pocono Raceway. And I believe Logan, he will have caught up to our third place finisher, which is Keith Mayato. And Logan, take it away, brother.
Yeah, Keith Mayato, you got Logan and Alec up here in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
10-4.
Well, man, not a whole lot of action for you. A couple moments there where I'm sure the seat of your pants got a little bit tighter. But overall, a third place finish here. You started out in 5th, gained 2 spots. Not a bad night for you at all. Run me through your race, Keith.
I was looking a little slow, in the beginning of the run, trying to save some tires and just trying not to overheat that right front. And it kind of worked, but guys were pitting early, and then it just got a little crazy with the restarts there with the different strategies. But it was fun, stayed out of trouble, got me, podium finish. So I am very content with that.
Absolutely. You can't be mad about that at all, especially following up Sonoma. And then, of course, next week going into Nashville Super Speedway. But we still have a lot of time left in this regular season. You're sitting in a good point standing spot. Obviously, those 2 drop weeks now in effect, but going into Nashville Super Speedway, do you have anything in store for us there, Keith?
I hope so. I'm dying to win. It's been over a year now, probably a year and a half since I've won anything. So I'm gonna try my best. Kind of tired of seeing the 48 winning, majority of the races. So hopefully we can all get together and have a good run next week.
Nashville Super Speedway is always one to put on a good show, so we'll just see what you have in store for us. But before you depart, anybody you'd like to say thanks to for your success here tonight, Keith?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates for helping just kind of learn and know and push myself to attack the corner a little bit more because I can see them doing it. So I had to follow suit and get out of my comfort zone. But yeah, just shout out to my teammates.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, and we will see you next week in the country music capital.
Sounds good. Thank you, Logan.
We'll take a little hop, skip, and a jump down here to our second place finisher. Have a word with Bailey Turner now. Bailey Turner, you got Alec and Logan up here in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy.
Hey, I got you guys.
Well, man, fantastic race. You really brought this thing down to the wire. Started out on the pole, finishing second with 24 laps led. Ironically enough, the 24 on the side of that Celsius machine. Man, those last couple laps, we thought you were going to be right there, crossing nose and nose with Jeff Wright. You almost got there. Run me through the last couple of laps there and just kind of what your thought process was as you were catching up to the back of the 48.
Thought process was Jeff's about to give me a taste of my own medicine because I had been clogging up the lanes with dirty air the previous runs, and I knew that I was going to have a significant tire advantage to really go up there and compete with him. I really wanted to stretch it one more lap to get even better tires, but I had to react to Keith. I knew Keith had a lot of pace, and I didn't want him jumping me and then having to sit there and battle him for a while. So, luckily the strategy worked out there where I came out just ahead of him and, fought Noah for a little bit. And, I'd kind of given up hope halfway through the run. I think Jeff's tires finally kind of gave up on him, and I started, eating into that lead, have quarter second a lap or so. And, yeah, once I got to him, started trying to experiment a little bit because I knew what I was about to get myself into with the dirty air. And he did a really good job of kind of covering the one dominant lane of the race. And this setup, the bumps were a little too much on the outside lane, and it was a little too tight. And so realistically, the bottom was just about the only lane that worked. And got to his bumper, tried to drive it into turn 2 as hard as I could, and just try to see if I could loosen him up a little bit without wrecking him. And once I got right behind him, the car just went straight, and unfortunately didn't even have a run into 3 to really do anything with. So that was unfortunate, but I was just happy to be back out here in BTDY. I missed racing with you guys on Tuesday nights, and pretty proud of myself for that showing. Didn't think I showed up and had about 20 minutes practice and put it on pole and was up there all night.
Absolutely nothing to complain about with that. But we were all thinking we might see a new face on the top of the podium, but a new face on the second step isn't bad at all. Now we got Nashville Super Speedway next week. Are we going to be able to see you there, Bailey?
We'll see. We'll see. It's taking a little break from some leagues. Had myself running about 3 or 4 a week, and it's just a little too much on top of everything else in life. But if I can make it out there, it's considered a home track for me, even though I'd rather be at the fairgrounds. But I'll look forward to that, and looking forward to getting out and competing in the league a little more.
Awesome. Well, always a joy to have you here, Bailey. We loved watching that 24 turn some laps. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before you depart?
Dennis Faircloth. He threw this game together for me in another league, so I appreciate all the work he does for me, and of course AJ Travato over there, teammate. He was about the only teammate in the channel tonight. We remember when that channel used to be full of 4 or 5 guys, so good to chat with him. And of course the winner, Jeff Wright. Wish I could have got us a new winner, but maybe next time.
We shall see next week. Thank you for your time, Bailey, and hope to see you again.
Appreciate it.
And we'll hand it right back off to Alec Martinez, who's going to be sitting on the celebrating pedestal with our winner, Jeff Wright.
Yes, sir. Jeff Wright, Alec and Logan, the V-Speed Blitz. Got a copy, buddy?
I got you, Alec.
Well, man, it's a third win in a row for you. Had to work for this one more than you did the other 2. How's those final couple of laps and trying to hold off Bailey Turner?
Yeah, it was really stressful. I didn't feel like I was totally in control of that thing at the end. I feel like I was just kind of at the mercy of Bailey, running into the dirty air wall and hoping that was going to be enough to stall him, because he was catching me quick, and he obviously had a lot fresher tires. He was able to go a lot longer than I was, but that was heart was beating pretty hard there those last few laps, just trying to do everything I could, to continue hit my marks and not over push anything, and just try to rely on that dirty air to stall his momentum, because that's really all I could do there. I was running some pretty slow lap times towards the end there, but we got that checkered flag just in time. I think a couple more laps, we might have been in trouble there.
For sure. And now you're looking at 4 in a row here, coming up to Nashville Super Speedway, that you've had a track that you've had success at. How do you feel about going out there and seeing if you can win it?
Yeah, Nashville, it's started to be a track that I kind of like going to now. When it first was kind of added to the NASCAR schedules and was first added to iRacing, I wasn't a super huge fan of it. It was a track that just really threw me off with how the corners were so much different and kind of deceiving, especially in turns 1 and 2. I feel like I always overshot that, but it's kind of going to be similar to Pocono in the sense it's going to be really, a narrow groove, and dirty air is going to be a huge factor because that track doesn't widen out very much. So you're kind of having to be in the tire tracks of, everybody else. So you got to try to figure out how to get out of the dirty air, and whether that's pit strategy or what. But qualifying is going to be super important there. But yeah, we're going to go there, and man, if we could get 4 in a row, that would just be crazy. I wasn't expecting to be able to do that tonight at Pocono, especially with as fast as AJ and Bailey were. With you not in the field, Alec, tonight, I felt a little bit better about my chances because I know how good you are here. But we'll go to Nashville and see if we can't do it again.
Well, I appreciate that very much. Well, Jeff, again, congratulations on the win. Anybody want to give a shout out to you here tonight for the win?
Yeah, big thanks to VSpeed, the entire broadcast team. So you and Logan up in the booth tonight, Bradley Cooper, Eddie Smith, Adam Baker, everybody at VSpeed that makes these broadcasts happen. Obviously, all the league admins here in BTDY, Alan Dice, Cody Atkins, Dal Sullivan, and then you got Nick Sterling, Timothy Emanuele, and Zachary Smith. Just to appreciate them putting in the time and effort to make this series happen. It's always so much fun to come out here, and some series sponsors, which I definitely don't want to forget as well. So Martin Sports, KHIO, Sailor Tower Magic, Infinity for Gaming, and last but not least, Up There Disc Golf. I think I covered them all this time, so I didn't miss any. But yeah, just thanks to everybody that makes this series happen.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Jeff. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you again next week. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again next week in Nashville.
All right, sounds good, guys.
All right, have a good one, brother. Thank you. And that's Jeff Wright, the winner for tonight's race. And Logan, man, what a race we saw there. Jeff had to earn that one. And, man, it was pretty entertaining race, wild and crazy. We didn't really know what was going to happen from start to finish.
Yeah, absolutely. It had us on our toes. Obviously those cautions kind of threw a wrench in things. Jeff Wright was able to get out to a massive lead after that last pit cycle. But overall, Bailey Turner put on one heck of a run to try to catch back up to him. And he did a fantastic job of doing so, putting pressure on the 48 and making that just close all the way to the finish. And then even the other guys in the middle of the pack that were able to hold it down and put together some really good racing back there from 5th to 9th. Hats off to them as well. But we've got Nashville Super Speedway coming up, Alec, and I couldn't be any more excited for it. That is one of my favorite tracks on the service myself. I know you're a big fan here of Pocono, so it's going to be a nice change of pace here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of Nashville in the terms of the track, but it'll sure be a fun event to watch. Well, we appreciate all of you viewers watching, and thank you guys for tuning in, and I appreciate everybody at BTDY for doing what they do, and all the sponsors here at KHIO and the BTDY Racing Series presented by KHIO. It was a great race tonight. Congratulations to Jeff Wright. We hope all of you all had a phenomenal Thanksgiving. We look forward to seeing you next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern here for BTDY race number 5 from the Nashville Super Speedway. Until then, take care, and we'll see you next Tuesday night for BTDY Night in America.